Dear students, I hope all of you are staying safe and healthy. This is Navina Suresh, Assistant Professor, BMS Department, Sri Narayan Guru College of Commerce. This e-content which I would be showing you today is about your Foundation Course 3, which you are going to learn in your third semester. Just like you have learned Foundation Course 1 and 2 in your first 2 semesters, in the semesters 3rd and 4 also you are having Foundation Course. Now Foundation Course 3, the subject is related to environment. Hence the subject name is Environmental Management. Now this is skill enhancement course, which is not related to your regular subjects, but it is something which all of you as students should learn and which you can apply in your day-to-day life. So let's begin. As we all know, this subject also has 4 modules. The first one is environmental concepts, second one environment degradation, third one sustainability and role of business, and the last one innovations in business and environmental perspective. In this particular PPT, I have covered only the first module. So let's begin the first module. So here comes the first slide of the first module. The below mentioned are the topics which would be covered in the first module. The following are the topics: the definition and composition of environment, what are the different biogeochemical cycles, what is meant by ecosystem, ecology, food chain, food web, energy flow pyramid, what is meant by resources, what are the classification of resources, and lastly exploitation of natural resources in a sustainable manner. Now among these, most of the topics you might have already covered in your lower classes, and the subject is something which you are already aware of, and which many of the terms here you might have already heard from here and there. So it's going to be a very interesting and very easy subject. So let's begin with the meaning of environment. A definition is given here which I will read out. It is the sum total of all surroundings of a living organism, including natural forces and other living things which provide conditions for development and growth, as well as of danger and damage. This may seem a bit difficult definition for you. Here comes another simple definition. Environment means the surroundings or conditions in which a person, animal or plant lives or operates. So that's a very simple definition which all of you can easily remember. One more meaning is mentioned over here. Environment is a natural unit consisting of all plants, animals and microorganisms in an area functioning together with all of the non-living physical factors of the environment. So two terms you can see over here which might be new for you, that is biotic factors and abiotic factors. So just let's see what is biotic and abiotic. Many of you might be already knowing the terms. Biotic means those things or those factors which are the living components of an ecosystem, or that is having life in it. Abiotic is exactly the opposite of biotic. Abiotic components are non-living chemical and physical factors in the environment which affects the ecosystems. Now let's go to the composition of the environment. There are several broad classifications given when it comes to environment. We are taking only the most important ones over here. First one is biotic and abiotic. Second classification is about natural environment and artificial or man-made environment. Third one is in a different view. It consists of lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere and biosphere. So let's start with the first classification, that is biotic and abiotic. We have already seen what is biotic and abiotic, so I'm not going to go much into the same. Biotic is something which is having life in it, and it is any living component which interacts with other organisms and affects in some other way. But at the same time, abiotic factors are those which are not having any life in it, and at the same time it is related to biotic factors. Here you can see a image, a picture over here, which explains about biotic and abiotic components. Plants, animals, bacteria, fungus, all these comes under biotic. Air, water, soil, light, minerals, etc. comes under abiotic. Now both of these things are interdependent of each other. This is one classification of environment. Let's go to the second classification. It's again very simple to understand. Here the environment is divided into two categories, that is natural environment and artificial or man-made environment. Natural environment comprises of everything which is happening or which is occurring naturally around us. That is everything around us which is not human made, like land, air, water, plants, etc. At the same time, human made or artificial environment are those which has been modified by human beings according to their requirements. So this is something which is created artificially by human beings. In this slide again you can see few examples of natural and man-made factors of the environment. Now let's come to the third major classification of environment: lithosphere, atmosphere, like that. Among that, the first one is lithosphere. Now what is lithosphere? It is something which is related to the earth. Easily you can remember like this: it is the outer part or outer covering of the earth, and it is about 100 km thick. It provides the solid surface which is necessary for terrestrial organisms. It is a reservoir of nutrients which are very much essential for life, and it also holds deposits of fresh water and energy sources. Just remember that lithosphere is something which is related to the rocks, and it is the outermost solid part of the earth. Here you can see the picture of lithosphere. It consists of crust, mantle, outer core, inner core, like that. Next comes atmosphere. Atmosphere is basically the layer of gases commonly known as air. And as we all know, there are different types of gases which becomes part of the atmosphere. There is nitrogen, oxygen, argon, carbon dioxide, and other small amounts of gases. Here you can see in this PPT or in this slide layers of the atmosphere. There are different or 5 main layers of atmosphere, just exosphere, thermosphere, mesosphere, stratosphere, and troposphere. Just remember the names here. Now the next slide is about hydrosphere. Hydrosphere, the word it is related, hydro means something which is related to the water. So here a hydrosphere is a combined mass of water which is found in the planet, in the earth. It includes water in liquid form, frozen forms, etc. Now here you have to remember one thing is that the salt water accounts for 97.5% and fresh water accounts for only 2.5%. Among that 2.5% also, 68.9% is in the form of ice, which is permanent snow cover in the Arctic and Antarctic areas. Only very much remaining is available for use. Now see the next slide. Hydrological or water cycle. This is something very basic which you have already learnt in your lower classes. In geography definitely you might have learnt it. What is a water cycle? All of you, if it was a normal lecture or an offline lecture, definitely I know that all of you would be coming out with your own answers. So still let me explain what is a water cycle. It describes how water evaporates from the surface of the earth, goes into the atmosphere, cools, condenses down, and comes back again as normal water. and this water which is falling down is collected in the rivers, lakes, etc., and once it will evaporate, it will go up again, it will come back to the earth during rainfall. So this cycling part, that is a very much significant part of the weather pattern of the earth. Now in the next slide you can see there is a process of water cycle mentioned. They are technically they are explaining about 5 processes over here: condensation, precipitation, infiltration, runoff, and evapotranspiration. That is, water condenses to form the clouds, then after that it results in precipitation, where the water is falling to the surface. It infiltrates means it gets into the soil, or it goes into the ocean as runoff. Then again this surface water, it again evaporates, returning the moisture to the atmosphere, and plants also return water to the atmosphere by transpiration. This is basically a very simple process of water cycle. It's a continuous process, that is why it's called as a cycle. Now another term which you have to remember here is biosphere. Bio means something, or bios means it's from a Greek word which means life. It is the ecosphere, and ecosphere means something, entire sum of all the ecosystems on the earth. That is, everything which is having life comes under biosphere. Everything, it's all about life. Our living world, that is a term used as another term for biosphere. Then next slide you can see a picture over here of biosphere. You can see over here everything which is having life is covered under biosphere. The next slide is about ecosystem. What is an ecosystem? Again, a definition is given here. It is a community of living organisms in conjunction with the non-living components of the environment interacting as a system. From this we can understand it is a system of both living and non-living organisms which are interacting together. That is, as we have seen in the earlier slides, both biotic and abiotic components are there in this ecosystem. In other words, ecosystem means the complex living organisms, the physical environment, all their interrelationships in a particular space or a unit. Now you have to remember that everything in this ecosystem are independent or are not independent. They are dependent on each other, either directly or indirectly. Remember, it's not independent, it is dependent. Ecosystems can be very large or very small. The entire earth is, or the surface of the earth is a series of connected ecosystems, and many of these cultures are developed around all these ecosystems. Let's come to the next topic, that is food chain. Again, this is something which I have already learned in geography in your lower classes. I think maybe in your 8th standard or 9th standard you might have learned about this food chain, or even maybe in the lower classes. So what is a food chain? It is a sequence of transfers of matter and energy in the form of food from one organism to the another, or it is a linear network of links in a food web. It shows how each living thing gets the food and how nutrients and energy is passed from one creature to another creature. Here you can see the slide is about various examples of a food chain: tree, deer, lion, like that. Now food chain, it is easy to tell about a food chain, but you have to remember that there are different elements in a food chain. It starts from the always from the green element, that is primary consumer. Producer is there first, then primary consumer, then secondary consumer, then can be tertiary consumer. Some cases there is also one level above that, otherwise it is final over here. Then we have decomposers or reducers. These are the common stages or common elements in a food chain. Now one thing, features you have to remember about the food chain is that the plants lie at the foundation of all food chains, that is the producers. Many food chains are of complicated nature. and the link in a food chain varies from 3 to 5 numbers. When actually what happens is that when the number of these members or elements increases, the energy transfer gets affected. In the next slide, you can see an example of a food chain or a food pyramid over here. I think it's very much clear. There is a producer, there is primary consumer, there is secondary consumer, and then there is tertiary consumer. Now let's see what is a food web. A food web is an interconnected, or it is a natural interconnection of food chains of what eats what in an ecological community. It shows that many plants, how these plants and animals are connected in different ways, and it's something very complex. Then another topic, that is the next topic here to remember about the trophic levels in a food chain. This is something which I have already explained: primary producers, primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers, decomposers, and or detritivores. This is also there in certain cases. The next topic is about energy flow pyramid. During each of this food chain, when one organism is consuming another organism, there is an energy flow. The flow of energy is moving from the lower layer of the energy pyramid, and it gradually reduces when the organisms at the upper level are using the energy. So why this energy is used? Energy is used up for all the life processes such as metabolism, respiration, reproduction, etc. What you have to remember is that at every stage, entire energy is not going to get transferred to the. You can see over here the energy food pyramid and how this energy is transferred from one stage to the other one. Now let's go to the last topic over here. What is meant by resources? A resource is a source of supply or from which a benefit is produced and that has some utility. Utilities means something, some kind of usefulness. Resource is a very broad term. It's something which is considered as a valuable addition. Resources can be air, water, food, plants, minerals, etc., which is useful for mankind. In this subject, you have to learn about the classification of resources. There are lots of classification. Here we are focusing on renewable resources and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources are those which is used repetitively and which doesn't get exhausted very fastly. It replenishes on its own, or there is endless supply of these resources. They are also known as alternative resources. The examples are solar energy, wind energy, water energy, biomass, thermal energy, etc., geothermal energy, etc. Then these non-renewable resources are those which cannot be readily replaced by natural means. It is available in limited supplies. The most common examples are fossil fuels. The problem is that non-renewable resources are consumed at a rate faster than it's produced. Now these fossil fuels are all those, what is this fossil fuels? It is all decomposed, organisms, energy released from that, and it is something which was formed years before. So non-renewable resources are those which cannot be readily replaced. It gets finished very fastly. Now there is one more topic over here: sustainability or sustainable resources. This will be given as an assignment for the students.